Mercenaries has been out for a bit, and I bet you're probably wondering to yourself, how can I level my mercenaries the fastest all the way up to 30? And just like you, I was wondering the same thing. So I thought I would share my knowledge to make sure that you get the most amount of levels for your time as you're playing Hearthstone Mercenaries. If this is helpful for you and you want to see things like this, make sure you subscribe, or I swear to God, you won't look fantastic. Let's do it.
I'm a doctor!
First question we've got to ask ourselves is, where do you get experience from? And the two main ways of getting it is from the travel point at any difficulty, heroic or normal, at any of these locations, or you could get it actually in the fighting pit for winning matchups in the fighting pit. Now, you can't get any XP when you're already 30, and I would highly recommend not putting level 30 mercenaries with like lower level mercenaries in the PvP, because it's probably not going to go very, very well. For the fighting pit, if you're very good and can consistently get wins, go for PvP. You'll probably get a lot more XP than you probably think you will. But on the flip side of that, you can actually do an extreme amount of clearing in the PvE runs with these special comps I'm going to give you. Now, one of these is from Kripps, one of these are from my own, how I cleared majority of the PvE runs, and one of them is from you guys that I saw in the comments that I think is very smart. So let's get to it. First composition here for PvE grinding is basically my own Paladin comp. Now, this isn't some AoE clearing thing that's just gonna AoE all the boards, but what Paladin does allows you to single target a lot of bigger boys and just wipe them out. Because Illidan does get a lot of attack with Wing Assault, you just completely nuke casters out of the game. You could also just nuke anything out of the game because it just does an insane amount of damage. And Illidan can honestly carry a lot of just the runs just by buffing him up. And that's why I really liked it. The rest of this was pretty much just support for Illidan. Thrall is obviously a really good minion on his mercenary on his own. And once you get Doomhammer, which I'm still waiting for that bug fix for Task 5, Blizzard, fix it. He will clear just as fast as Illidan. Uther's a great support card. And because Hammer of Justice slows down the enemy PvE dudes, it makes Illidan's life so much easier just to kill people. The rest of them are just really defensive. Cornelius obviously there is to protect Illidan. Tyrion's there to make Illidan stronger as well as protect him. And of course, Velen's there for in case you need some kind of healing or AoE caster damage, because Uther is mainly single target. Please don't kill Illidan. If Illidan dies here, chat, I'm malding. No, 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 no! My Illidan composition for PvE is mainly used for PvP, but it did extremely well on the PvE runs. I beat every single one with this one, but I thought I would show you more grindy ones that you could just single clear. And we'll start off with Kripps, and I think Kripps is probably going to be the best one you'll find. But the second one you'll see is also very good for people who may not have all of these characters. Kripps' main idea here is using the three main casters of Xyrella, Velen, and Anduin. Now, the main reason about this is just using Velen's Blessing, which if you do upgrade it, it goes to 1 cooldown, or I think maybe even 0. I'm not sure what the max upgrade actually is. And then you use that with Holy Nova, and Holy Nova does an insane amount of damage. Obviously, this is not even fully upgraded yet, and gives your guys an insane amount of healing, so they just never die, and you just AoE everything off the board. And then Xyrella is basically there for either A, using Blinding Luminance to make sure that one minion is not super strong and can't deal a bunch of damage, or Atonement to do a bunch of damage. You'll never use Flash Heal because the amount of healing that Anduin will provide with Holy Nova, but that's the main idea. Now, you may look at this and say, what about the rest of your composition? It does not matter, because all you need is these three. The rest of them could be whatever you want. If you need to level certain characters, just put them in the back. They'll get XP as you just completely mow down any composition in front of you, basically. And if you don't believe me, let's watch Kripps do some heroic ones, shall we?
I guess that first match is exactly the same. The attack of the target, it does infinite damage. Like if you Xyrella something to 0 attack and then you do to the dash to the death, you literally just kill the thing. To the dash, let's go. I want to go to the dash. Where's that? Kaladesh.
I know what you're thinking, Rarran. Those are just simple mobs. What about the bosses? I'm sure this is going to have trouble. Oh, you think?
Per box. So we'll see if heroic is any different.
Cast the darkness from your heart by the light.
So on heroic, these guys have like 30 more health and they have a lot more attack. But it should not be that much harder, in my opinion. It might be a little bit harder to complete the quests though, if I have to substitute in cards.
The last main idea here is the same kind of concept as Kripps, where you're going for pretty much an explosive AoE that just one-shots the enemy team regardless of who they are. Now, you may look at Kripps and say, well, they're only casters. It's a little skeptical, even though you watched all that gameplay and oh my god, that's actually insane. And I did not cherry pick that. There is so much gameplay of him just running through runs just with those comps. But this composition uses Rag, Millhouse, and Carryall. And the main idea here is that Millhouse and Rag will just clear. And then if things get a little sketchy, you have Carryall to basically take the damage of anything that comes and heal up your boys. And then you're basically chilling to do the exact same thing all over again. I would love to show the synergistic aspect of this composition in the actual game. But the only mercenary I did not get, thanks a lot, Blizzard, is virtually just Rag, but you hope you get the gist of it. I haven't leveled up any of these characters, but I hope you get the main idea here. So Carryall obviously has Taunt, which can just protect Millhouse and Rag. And then she also has Seal of Light to basically give them some life back. And obviously it gets better once it's upgraded. Millhouse can basically carry on his own because Arcane Bolt, especially when upgraded, gives him more arcane damage, which means this ability right here, Arcane Explosion, is extremely powerful. And then Rag has his own setup and own AoE to basically nuke everything on the opposing side. I hope this video was helpful for you to get your maximum PvE runs. I'm going to be using Kripps build and just running through people because I don't want to craft Ragnaros. RIP, I'll get him soon. But if you enjoy this and you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you subscribe. I want to be your #1 guy for Hearthstone Mercenaries. And if you have another composition that's doing extremely well for you for PvE clears, let me know in the comments down below. You look fantastic.